Hi there, I'm Michael Bovee with Consumer Recovery Network. Thanks for tuning in to our YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about what Goodwill deletion letters or Goodwill requests are, and when you might try to make one, and what your realistic expectations for success really are. So in a Goodwill letter, the context of one is often enough going to be somebody that's had a difficulty in making a bill payment on time. And maybe you only were late 30 to 60 days and you were able to catch up and pay it. Or it was a situation that was out of your control, and I've seen people need to write Goodwill deletion letters for credit reporting purposes for the late pays and whatnot after a very critical accident and they were hospitalized and none of their bills were paid, and things that are just absolutely legitimate. And I've seen banks just go, sorry for your luck. And then I've seen instances where somebody, really there was no incident per se for like excusable neglect or anything for missing the payment. They were just, experienced some kind of inability to pay because they lost a job but transitioned well and only had a 30-60 day late pay. But it was like normal stuff, not an accident. And those people have success. Here's where Goodwill requests, I see them having the most realistic chance of success, and it's with small medical bills and with power companies or utility bills. I generally don't see much success when people write to the executive offices at large banks, maybe a small credit union or something like that. But the larger the institution, the larger the lender, the less likely you're going to meet with any success. Oftentimes that's frustrating, I get it, and especially given the circumstances that I reach out and I talk to many people, these are very legitimate reasons to excuse somebody for having made a late payment and show up on their credit report because of the impacts that has. Why, of course we want to try and get those things off of there, and we'll dispute them. We'll hire credit repair companies and do all these things and get more and more frustrated, sometimes to the tune of stopping doing business with the bank and all of these things. But listen, for the most part, lenders, people that extend us credit, they're only going to meet the minimum legal requirement that they have when it comes to credit reporting. And that is to provide and or furnish information to the credit bureaus that is complete, accurate, and up to date. So if you really were behind, they don't want to remove that. If you settled and now you just want that off of there, they got their money, they're not going to remove it for the most part. I see very little success. The larger the institution, the larger the bank. The smaller the situation, the more excusable, the more individualized kind of conversation you can have, or you write a Goodwill request for that deletion or removal of the 30-day late pay or whatever. The more individualized that company's approach and the person you reach that is going to take your letter, read it with a human view rather than a almost robotic policy and procedure kind of thing. Doesn't qualify, stamp, move on. Doesn't qualify, stamp, move on. The better off you are. So just I tend to discourage people from using Goodwill delete letters to just assume that, hey, I'm going to resolve this and it's going to heal itself with time, because of the frustrations they experience by trying to get something done that they probably can't get done. But if you do these things, let's talk about them in the comments below. Tell me who it is you're trying to send this Goodwill delete request to and for what reason. And I'll let you know from my experience of over 20 years of helping people resolve those kind of things, what I think you might want to include, not include, or man, you could save yourself that stamp. See you on the next video.